And so now we come to the weather forecast. Tonight, dry, hot and humid. Tuesday will be dry, sunny and hot. Afternoon temperature reaching, wait for this, 30 degrees centigrade. Transferred, that's 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is the weather. Ah, there you are. And that's just about it. Getting quite a suntan in this warm studio, I tell you. Don't forget, we're back with you later on this morning at approximately 9:25 with the Thames News headlines. Hopefully I'll be with you again tomorrow evening. Two great new series to look forward to, incidentally. At 7 o'clock, it's the Video Entertainers, and at 8:30 we've got comedy once again with Don't Rock the Boat. Our transmission controller tonight was Tony Everton. He was responsible for just about everything. I didn't really have to mention that, but this helped. Thank you, Tony. Our musical entertainment all this particular week comes from a new LP called Classic Themes. Tonight we've gone really classy. It's a bit of Grieg and Morning from Peer Gynt. From all of us here at our Euston Road studios at Thames Television. Good night, everyone, and sleep well. Good night. "26 minutes before the hour of 1 o'clock. Please don't forget to switch off your television sets, will you? Good night, once again.
Now, a last look at tomorrow's weather forecast for the LWT area. Sunday will start cold with fog patches, but the fog will slowly clear. It'll be bright for a time, but cloud will increase during the day, with rain in places by dusk. Temperatures will reach 9 degrees Celsius, that's 48 degrees Fahrenheit, and there'll be a light to moderate southerly breeze. And from tomorrow's weather to a look at tomorrow evening's programmes on LWT. At 7:15, more contestants compete for hundreds of pounds and wonderful prizes in catchphrase. And half an hour later, at 7:45, Scylla is back to say surprise, surprise to unsuspecting people both in and out of the studio. Then in Crazy Like a Fox at 8:45, one of Harrison's clients, a wealthy eccentric, claims that a spaceship has landed in her vineyard, particularly perplexing as her son is trying to take away the family business because of his mother's so-called incompetence, and it's up to the Foxes to unravel the facts from the fiction. The ITN News at 9:45 is followed at 10 by the latest in developments on the Daily Crucible in hot metal. And then at 10:30, the South Bank Show examines the making of the most eagerly awaited British film of 1986. Absolute Beginners is a large-scale musical based on the cult novel by Colin MacInnes about teenage London in 1958 and builds to a climax during the first Notting Hill race riots. It features stars like David Bowie and Sard, alongside a number of unknowns. Programmes for tomorrow evening, here on LWT. Well, now it's time for us to close down, but if you're not ready to do the same thing and feel like some more company, independent local radio continues programmes throughout the night, and that includes, of course, the two London stations, LBC and Capital. TVAM starts at 6:55 in the morning with Good Morning Britain, and LWT is back on the air at 9:25 with Wake Up London. So, until then, with the time at 16 minutes to 1, from me, Ruth Anders, and everyone here on the South Bank, it's good night. finally, please don't forget to turn off your television set. Once again, good night.
And so, with the time just 20 minutes past midnight, we come to the end of our programmes for today. We hope you enjoyed them and that you'll be joining us again tomorrow when television starts at 6:15 with Good Morning Britain. Meanwhile, from all of us here at TVS to all of you at home, we wish you a very good night and sleep well. Good night. And if you can still hear me, don't forget to switch off your set. Good night.
Right, that's just about it for this Thursday night. I hope you've enjoyed the whole of our programme this evening. It's just after midnight now. I have to get home before I change. Just a word about tonight being a Friday. We've got some cracking programmes tonight, I can tell you. After the Take the High Road, we have Albion Market and The Street Fighter tonight. It really is an excellent film with Charles Bronson and James Coburn. That's at 7:30. It's The Practice at 9, and then International Athletics, which tomorrow night come from Crystal Palace. And then at 11 o'clock, we have the second of a three-part drama series, Return to Eden. I watched the first part last week. It really is excellent. I'm right into that, so I should be watching that tonight. I shall see you in Berwick on Saturday. I hope you're going to be there. Berwick and Duns, two places on Saturday up there, so I hope you're going to say hello. And Holt Whistle on Sunday. They tell me they're throwing me into the Holt Whistle baths, the new one that's open. There'll be no water in it. Here's the weather forecast. Most of the region will be dry with sunny periods, but it will be rather cloudy at times on the eastern coasts. Winds will be easterly light or moderate, and it'll be rather warm too, it says here. Temperatures around about 19 to 20 degrees centigrade, that's 66 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on where you are. But that's a degree or two cooler in the east. The weekend outlook is thundery outbreaks spreading from the north, but it is going to get warmer, so it should be a great weekend wherever you are. That's it then from everyone here at Border Television. We hope you've enjoyed our programmes. I shall be back with you tonight, as I mentioned earlier. And Alan Cartner will be with you again in the morning. Just time now to say night and night. And if you're all alone this evening, a very special good night to you. We ask Eric Nicely, who shows the clock. There it is. It's just on its way to 3 minutes past midnight. From us all here at Border Television, a very good night to you. Just the usual reminder, once again, don't forget to switch off your set and check all the doors and windows before you retire to Kip. Don't forget, of course, to keep the cat in and gag the budgie. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.
Well, now the regional weather forecast. The rest of the night will be dry with clear periods and light winds, and temperatures near 12 centigrade 54 Fahrenheit, with a few mist patches which will form towards dawn. These will clear quickly, and there'll be long sunny periods throughout the day. Away from the coastal fringe, winds will be light, and maximum temperatures should once more be close to 25 centigrade 77 Fahrenheit. However, fresh sea breezes will again develop along the coast, and temperatures there will remain several degrees cooler. And that's the weather outlook. Well, now in Yorkshire we come to tonight's edition of Job Finder, but from me, John Cross, on behalf of everyone here in the studios, it's a very good night. The time is just coming up to 11 minutes to 3 o'clock. Good night.
Well, after enjoying 2 weeks of Italian sunshine, it's good to come home and find we're actually getting something in the way of a summer here too. What's more, it looks like continuing, at least for the next couple of days anyway. Tonight will be dry with clear spells and a low temperature of 10 degrees Celsius, that's 50 Fahrenheit. Friday will be dry once again and everywhere will have sunny spells, although patchy cloud is likely at times. Temperatures will reach 21 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit, with light northwesterly winds. And the outlook for the weekend, dry, warm and sunny on Saturday, and dry at first on Sunday, but a little rain later. Well, we're about to leave you now, but independent radio continues to broadcast. 8 stations are on the air 24 hours a day. They are Leicester Sound, BRMB, Beacon Radio, Radio Trent, Signal Radio, Mercia Sound, Radio Wyvern and 7 Sound. Or if you're looking for a job, stay tuned to Central after close down, because together with the Manpower Services Commission, we provide a text service detailing job vacancies in the Midlands. And if you see a job that might suit you, you can call into your local job centre tomorrow for full details. Tomorrow night on Central, a summer wedding at 7:30 provides everything you need to know about the big day next Wednesday. At 8, we've live coverage of the Pearl Assurance International Athletics from the Alexander Stadium in Birmingham. And at 10:30, there's the first in a new series of spitting image compilations. Then rounding off the evening at 11, our Friday Night Fright is definitely not for the squeamish, especially if you've an aversion to cats. It's called The Uncanny and stars Peter Cushing and Donald Pleasance in 3 tales of terror, all about our little feline friends. Well, that's it. Thanks for your company this evening. We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, from all of us at Central, have a peaceful night and sleep well. Good night.
And now a special announcement if you live in the Shefford area of Bedfordshire. Owing to a breakdown of the Shefford telephone exchange, people living in that area who require emergency services should go to the Shefford fire station, which will be manned throughout the night. If you live in the Shefford area of Bedfordshire, you should go to the local fire station to contact the emergency services. And that's the end of this special announcement. And now our final programme this evening, introduced by Canon Ivan Bailey. And that brings us to the end of another evening. So, from all of us here at Anglia Television, this is Helen McDermott wishing you a very good night. Good night. The voice in the dark, back again to say don't forget to switch off your sets and fill up your hot water bottles. Good night.
Well, here's the weather forecast now. There could be a few mist patches towards dawn, but the morning will be bright with some sunshine, but cloud will increase and 1 or 2 showers are likely, mainly in inland areas. Highest temperatures tomorrow, around 18 degrees centigrade, 64 Fahrenheit, and the light northwesterly wind will continue. That's the weather forecast. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our programmes tonight, particularly that tribute to the late, great Marilyn Monroe. Watch out for a tribute to Elvis Presley, which we'll be showing on Friday of next week. That should be well worth seeing. And can I also remind you about TV AM, back on the air at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we shall take over your viewing at 9:25 and continue right throughout the day, and of course the evening as well. But for now, from everyone here at Granada, a peaceful night to you, and from me, take good care of yourself. Good night. If you're still in the mood for entertainment, your independent local radio station is on the air right throughout the night. But before you tune in, don't forget to switch off the television set. Good night.
First for this evening, a cloudy night with outbreaks of rain, especially in the west, but drier, clearer weather reaching the north and west by morning. It'll be windy but mild. Now the forecast for tomorrow: Caithness, Sutherland, the northwest and the Moray Firth area will have a fairly bright day with some sunshine but also showers, scattered for the most part, but they may become heavier in the northwest later in the day. The Aberdeen and Dundee areas, together with the Central Highlands, will be more cloudy, at least during the morning, with some outbreaks of rain, but brighter, dry weather will spread slowly southeastwards to most parts during the afternoon. After a very mild night, it'll be a little colder tomorrow, and the strong southwesterly winds overnight will decrease too, especially in southern parts. And finally, the outlook for Thursday: sunny intervals and showers, but some longer outbreaks of rain as well. Windy again, with little change in temperature. And that's the weather. And that brings us to the end of another evening here at Grampian. We have some varied programmes for you tomorrow night, including comedy with Benny Hill at 8:30, and there's trouble for McCall when he finds himself faced with a violent gang to prove that when against all odds, he still remains the equaliser. That's at 9. And our sporting fans might be interested to know that our midweek sports special tomorrow evening is at the later time of 11:35. And talking of time, it's now 1:45, and I'd best let you get to bed. And wish you, on behalf of all of us here at Grampian, a very good and peaceful night's sleep. Good night, and God bless. And lastly, please don't forget to switch off and unplug your television sets. Thank you and sleep well.
Tomorrow will be dry with sunny and warm spells. Inland temperatures will reach 23 degrees Celsius, that's 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit, but coasts will feel cooler in the light south to southeast winds. And the shipping forecast. Portland, Plymouth, variable 3 or less, becoming easterly 4 later, fair, moderate or good. Lundy, southerly 3 or 4, mainly fair, moderate or good. And a final look at the TSW clock. Don't forget, Devon Air and Plymouth Sound can keep you company right through the night with Night Flight. And the time, it's just gone 28 minutes past 1 o'clock. Well, that's it from us this evening here on TSW. I do hope you've enjoyed our programmes and that you'll find time to join us again tomorrow evening. But until then, from me, Jenny Hull, on behalf of all my colleagues here at TSW and the transmitters, I'd like to wish you a peaceful and good night. Once again, please don't forget to switch off your television sets. Good night.
It's our thanks to evangelist Peter Anderson for bringing our transmission to a close on this Monday evening. There'll be a new face on your screens tomorrow. A young lady by the name of Leslie Kearney will be hosting the early part of the day, and she'll be taking over as soon as TVAM leaves off to present the regional news and to host your programmes all the way through until tea time. Hope you'll give her a big welcome and join Jane German for the evening transmission. And I'll meet up with you again on Wednesday evening. I hope you've enjoyed our programmes tonight. It's been a pleasure being with you. This is Neville Wanless signing off, and on behalf of everyone here at the Tyne Television Studios in City Road, Newcastle, bidding you a very good night, God bless and sleep well. And if you're on your own right now, as always from me, a very special good night to you. It's just after 10 minutes past midnight. Night-night.
Now the weather forecast for tonight and daytime tomorrow. The night will be dry in most eastern areas, but near coastal areas exposed to the moist southwest winds it'll become misty and there'll be some drizzle. Temperatures are unlikely to fall below 12 degrees centigrade, that's 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Thursday will be mostly cloudy, although there may be some sunshine in places away from the coast, especially in the east. Many western parts will be misty with outbreaks of drizzle. Temperatures will rise to around 20 degrees centigrade, 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the sunnier areas, but only 16 degrees centigrade, 61 degrees Fahrenheit on the mistier coasts. And the light or moderate southwest wind will increase to fresh or strong during the day. And the outlook for Friday, becoming cloudy with outbreaks of rain or drizzle in most areas, I'm afraid. That's the weather forecast, also the end of our programmes for tonight on HTV Wales. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 7:30 we have 2 hours of comedy, starting with Fresh Fields. At 8 o'clock it's Benny Hill, and then at 9 o'clock we spend half an hour in the company of Shelley. That's tomorrow night. Hope I can have your company then. Until then, I leave you with a last look at the clock. And with the time just turned 20 minutes past midnight, this is Arfon Hins Davis wishing you a very good night. Nostar.
And just before we leave you tonight, we'll take our final time check, and on the STV clock, it's exactly 22 minutes to 1. Well, thanks very much indeed for having us tonight. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the programmes, and that, again, as usual, we can look forward to your company tomorrow. Well, we're on air bright and early with programmes for schools at 9:30. But if you're going to be watching a bit later on in the evening, you might like to know what you can look forward to. Well, part of the menu tomorrow night consists of Benson at 7 o'clock with comedy, and Tom, Dick and Harriet at 9:30, so there's a good hour's worth of comedy for you there for a start. A little later on, you can see the continuing fortunes of all the warring feuding families in Falcon Crest. That's at 8:30. And a little later on, the beginning of a brand new series of preview plays, and a marvellous, funny, but yet slightly tragic in its own way play. It's called The Way to Go, written by Alan Spence, and tells of a rather droll little gentleman played by Russell Hunter. It's a good play. Make sure you see that one. That's tomorrow night here on STV at 10:30. Now, all programmes are in fact as billed in TV times, with the exception of a new programme you can see tomorrow night just after 12 o'clock. It's called Living and Growing for Adults. Apparently it's definitely for adults only, so it seems a reasonable time to put it on just before bedtime. Well, thanks again for watching. I sincerely hope you'll manage to catch some of the programmes here on STV tomorrow. For the time being, on behalf of all of us, a very safe and peaceful good night to you. And right now we'll leave you with a full rundown of tomorrow evening's programmes. Good night. Well, although STV's closing down now, you may well like to know that music for late night listening is already underway at Bill Smith's Late Night Place. So tune in now to Radio Clyde. It's easy on the ear through till the news at 2. More music and features follow on the Nighthawk beat, and Jim Walk's got another episode of the drama series The Bell in the Trees. After the 6 a.m. news, Dave Marshall's breakfast show provides easy listening through until 9. Meantime, on Radio 4, the airwaves hum to the sound of Breaker Breaker Music Maker, and Ken Haynes is at the mic until the 2 o'clock close down. For a really early breakfast show, why not tune in to Mike Scott at 5. He's got a newsy menu through until 9 o'clock, so happy listening on both sides of the country. And please don't forget to turn off the television set. Good night.
Well, now the news at bedtime, and the main news tonight is the double kidnapping of UDR man Tommy Cochrane and West Belfast man Joseph Donegan. And with only a few minutes to go until the UVF deadline and Mr. Donegan's life passes, there's still no word from the gang holding him. Several attempts have been made to try to contact them, but it's believed they're a breakaway loyalist group. Warm tomorrow, reaching 11 centigrade, and the outlook for Tuesday and Wednesday, cloudy with some rain, but also some sunny spells. That's all the news tonight. That brings us to the end of broadcasting for another weekend here on Ulster Television. I do hope that you enjoyed our programmes. We'll be back on the air tomorrow with programmes for schools, and as this is half-term week, we'll be repeating last week's schools programmes. But now we're ready to take our leave of you. Our closing picture tonight is of Saul Church in Downpatrick, and this is Joanne Woods wishing you all a very good night. Good night, everyone.